Warning: this game is being played on the Edge channel due to its depiction of religion and magic. Edge rating: medium. Hello, and welcome to Desktop and Dice Edge, the gaming channel where you never know who's going to show up, and the channel in the Dad Network where we play games that aren't exactly family friendly. I'm your host, Next Gen Nate, and in this run we're going to be playing the original Guild Wars. In this run, our question is, what is a fantasy trope or archetype that you think doesn't get enough attention, or is interesting but hasn't really been done much? And tell us why. And with each subsequent episode, if you can think of more, tell us different ones that you thought were really cool, maybe from a book or another genre, or something that you've come up with, something you think would be a really cool twist on an archetype that you think would be interesting to see. And actually, I'll be thinking about it as well, and by the last episode, I'll give you something that I think would be interesting. But with that, let's jump into the game. It's just gaming. Oh dear. Well, considering this channel, this thing, you're asking someone who has a channel, and a channel, I know I'm not talking a lot right now, but we talk politics, most definitely. So, no politics, just gaming. Sorry. If anyone of your group ever sees this, don't know, and I get it, People are like, hey, let's just not talk about this stuff. Let's just game. not kind of our thing. Our thing is let's game and we have an opinion on these things. So, and that we don't. It's not always right to have it to where it's like we're just about gaming, because that that all flows in one direction. There are those who are like, oh, I feel perfectly fine. I feel perfectly safe talking about my political beliefs and gaming because it supports the narrative. And then you have those who are like, hey, I'm just here to game, because if I talk about my politics, then I'm going to get in trouble. And that's the thing. I actually suspect at some point it's going to be, no, you can't have these episodes on YouTube. And it'll be, yeah, well, we can't have them on YouTube, so we got to have them over on Rumble or Odyssey. So, anyway, I think that's funny. I think one of the first people to proffer me an offer was no politics, just gaming. Well, but yeah, if Gandalf and Ark and Shish Kebab, once again, it'd be kind of cool to make our own guild. Maybe GA TP? TP, no, not TP. Toilet paper. But I was thinking it was like gaming and Texas politics, something like that. Because it's very obvious that, of course, we got people who aren't from Texas who are on here to talk with us, especially our Canadian friend. Hasn't been on yet, but when he is, it'll be fun. But anyway, yeah, no. that is actually really funny. Okay, that kind of threw me off. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, hammer. I want a hammer. But before I do that, let's do the mesmer stuff. Get that out of the way. Well, I don't know. No, I like having this animal friend for right now. Let's keep him. We can do the mesmer stuff later. Again, I'm thinking elemental is what we're going to settle on as our secondary. And with eventually a focus on earth. The earth element. That's why I named her Cragbender. So... glad that my computer hasn't crashed like it did last time. That was annoying. I was actually really looking forward to playing the elemental character, and we'll do that at some other time. And like I said, I was like talking about Critical Role and stuff, and I don't know, I guess talk about it now. It just kind of felt like it's like, oh man, it's very natural talking about it, and talking about it again right after felt unnatural. But what I was saying is my favorite campaign of theirs is 2, and then 3, and then 1, because I just couldn't connect with the 1. And Critical Role is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, because there are certain things and concepts and ideas and stuff like that that I totally don't agree with. But when it comes to storytelling, they are unparalleled at this point, in my opinion. There are some... Matt Mercer is one of the best storytellers out there, if not... I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as to say he is the best. I don't actually know who the best is, but he is definitely one of the best. And one of the things I loved in campaign 2 was Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham's romance for their characters after being married, and then they got to re-experience romance by playing the game together, which I just thought was really cool. And I love Travis's character Ford's progression of the whole denying the thing that offered him power, but also demanded him do horrible things, and be like, this is, basically a toxic relationship, and him being like, no, I'm not going to be used this way, and finding something better, which I thought was really cool. Finding a way to have it to where it was working together with something. Oh, the word is escaping me. You got malevolent and benevolent. And he left malevolent, who wanted to control him, for something malevolent. No, okay. Left something malevolent for something benevolent. Right? Yeah, sure. Okay. And then my favorite character was Jester. I think hands down the best like scene was the cupcake situation. It's the best. My favorite character in campaign 3 is Fern, which I think is Ashley's ode to Jester. Kind of that same energy. My favorite on that one is the whole like situation with Dorian, where it's like, I just told you that someone pickpocketed me, and then right after that you pickpocketed somebody. And it's like, hey, all you told me was that it was easy to do around here. I thought that was a really, really funny scene. And I would love to be part of something like that someday. I'm hoping that we can actually make content sort of like that, and that get to a place where you're so comfortable with like on the spot creating story, and it really is like getting very comfortable with acting. And I would love to do something like that. I would love to have a moment to do something like that. Currently I'm in a game with Arc 117 as the DM, and what's interesting about ours though is we don't have a pantheon. For the most part, most people are actually monotheistic, and the idea is that the different clerics basically, I did a circle. Different clerics it's basically there's one creator, but some say, well, he's the keeper between life and death, and that's the most important thing, and that's the most important thing to him, and the greatest form of worship to him is to honor that and fight undead. And others are like, no, he's the great, forger of the universe, so creation, creating things is the highest form of worship. And that, it's basically theological differences. And then you have the holists who are like, look, we need to stop fighting each other because it's all of it, and that your way of relating versus my is just how you're designed to bring forward into the world the representation of that side of the creator, and each one of us is a reflection of the multifaceted nature of this creator, and that we all bring these things, and it all comes together to show that he is so multifaceted. And I actually am playing a character who is a cleric at the beginning. He starts off a cleric. He's a Tempest scribe, if you know what that build is, which is basically Tempest cleric that then specs into scribe wizard, but really leaning into the whole cleric part of it, even though he's only got 2 levels in cleric, and from there on it's going to be wizard. But basically his book, like a scribe has, is actually a religious text, and the entity within is actually a herald, and the way his society relates to the creator is basically the eternal storm, or the I think eternal storm. I'd have to look back at how I put it, but do these guys bleed? Nope. Hammers would be better for this guy. I'm glad I'm learning hammer stuff. But basically this idea that, you know, a storm is both destructive and life-giving all at the same time, and that mercy and judgment actually aren't two different things, that actually they correspond with each other, and that basically to bring life, you know, the lightning burns down the dead trees and stuff like that to make room for new life to grow, and then the rain feeds the new life, and that even though you have mercy for the individual, sometimes there's mercy for the group, which is to deal with a corrupt individual. And this whole thing of justice, the balance of justice and mercy, and once again that an act of justice actually is a mercy. Man, I'm having a hard time figuring out how to get to that area. I want to get over here. Is this not the way? This is the way. It feels like they're kind of dead ends. Let's see, what's this way? But yeah, and there's a whole other, well, I don't know if that character's ever going to show up on any kind of channel or anything. He may, but the idea is that he was training to be a cleric, and well, you know what, I don't know, I might not reveal all of that yet. He may actually make an appearance. Let's just say that someone very close to him betrayed everybody, and basically led his people off to slavery and death and destruction. And he is now tasked with finding his people and freeing his people. Being Jewish, I'm not drawing off of any particular archetype there. Go find your people and free your people. But anyway. But yeah, I'm finally at the place in the game where it's finally got a first level in Wizard. We started actually at level 2, and got his first level in Wizard. Still don't have the scribe bit of it, which is kind of like, that's what I'm really chomping at the bit for, is being able to be a actual scribe wizard. How do I get over there? Thinking actually it's that portal right there. I'm in the wrong place. Yeah, let's try that. But yeah, of course, if anyone listening knows anything about the Tempest Scribe build, you know, with Tempest you can take any lightning or thunder ability and just have it hit at max hit once per long rest, and then the scribe has the ability to take any ability and change its damage type, as long as you have something of that same sort of damage type in the same level of ability. And so I'm thinking like Scorching Ray, but except it's Electric Ray, and then like max out the damage, which would be really cool. Of course, I'm taking Chromatic Orb because that like covers a lot of bases. But anyway, I'm enjoying the campaign so far. We haven't really gotten too awful far in it. It's yeah, just basically we were in a cave with a bunch of goblins and fought them, and I was able to use that ability, the Tempest ability, and basically use thunder and turn to, like, I believe it's like 5 out of 7. Like turn 5 out of 7 goblins into just paste, just red mist in one go, because I purposely like put myself right smack in the middle of a bunch of them and did thunder wave and maxed out the damage. And the way he describes it is like, you just watch 5 of these guys just go ah! And just become a smear with how much thunder damage was done. And I was like, yeah, see, that's why I built this guy. But dude's a little tank too. I made him a dwarf and a hill dwarf, and he actually, for someone who's going to be going into wizard, his constitution is ridiculous. Okay, now that's going to go to Wizard's Folly. I don't want to go there. Maybe this way? I might as well go up to Wizard's Folly since I'm over here. But unfortunately, in that game I've been rolling actually very poorly. So for me, having that moment where the thunder wave worked and it took out as many enemies as it did all in one go was just like, yes, finally. Finally a good situation here. But he is definitely, he's going to be a little embattlement thing. He's going to be built kind of for DPS, but at the same time he is tanky, and yet he's a wizard, and it's just really, he's an odd build. But stuff doesn't really do much on. Where is Wizard's Folly? You are close to the actual spot where the people are. I want to be where the people are. This feels like I'm in the wrong place. You guys are aggressive. guess a good way of putting the philosophy too of what I made for that particular character was, once again, their whole thing is, again, an act of mercy is that which clears the way, or no, an act of justice is that which clears the way for an act of mercy. That mercy doesn't survive without justice. That, again, like clearing dead wood and stuff, and like lightning that hits a dry area and burns it away so that a field is made more fertile and able to support life, so that the rain hits and brings forth fruit, and that the rain and so on that washes things away and stuff. And just like rain can wash and it can cleanse and it can bring life, it also can be a flood and it can kill off things. It's the same thing can be used for both justice and mercy, but also that the flood washes things away, the lightning, the fire burns things away, and then the rain comes and brings forth something new. That justice, again, clears the way for mercy. And that, therefore, that act of justice, that harsh situation, ultimately is an act of mercy. And that when things happen in our lives that burn away things, or that tear away at things, or wash things away, that oftentimes that is an act of mercy to get it ready and prepared for new fruit, new things to be planted, and for the rain to actually do its job to bring forth mercy. So the things that we look at and go, and once again, it's this idea of the Creator brings it. And if we look to a creator, if we believe in a creator, it's like, why are you doing all these harsh things? Do you hate me? Or do you, why do you have an issue with me? That we need to realize a lot of times, if we really believe in that creator, they are acts of mercy. That it's because these things are keeping you from living. These things are keeping you from having new life. These things are keeping you from being what you truly could be. And, oh man, I just walked right past it. That's what's wrong. So these events to burn away those things, to wash away those things, so that new things could be in its place, proper things could be in its place, place that brings forth fruit and life, and not just life, but life-giving substance is an act of mercy. So, anyway, so yeah, that's the whole idea. That's his whole philosophy. So, and he is kind of harsh. I made him to where he's gone through some stuff, and because of that, he can you not sell this? So he's definitely leaning on the whole, like, yeah, justice needs to be done. And otherwise, once again, there is no mercy. And again, that mercy does not survive without justice. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, I hope you consider joining our socials, as well as looking at our other channels and other creators. There should be links to that in the description below. As always, do not forget that I have a Rent a Cyber friend if you want to have a conversation with me directly, and there is a link to that in the description as well. But, like I normally do, I must remind you that if you are under 18, your legal guardian must log you in and stay in the room with you for us to have a conversation. If they don't, I'm sorry, that conversation can't happen. The question for this run is, what archetype or trope do you think is underused in fantasy? Which one do you want to see used more, and why? And then with the subsequent episodes, What are some other tropes and archetypes that you really love seeing in those stories? Or maybe you have a twist on one of those tropes or archetypes and you want to share that with us. On this one, I'm not going to be making you guess anything. I'm just going to be adding my voice to this conversation on the last episode, and I'll be adding that, as always, 24 hours after posting the last episode of this run. And with that, I'm your host, Next Gen Nate, and I look forward to the next time we play.